Work's over. And now it's time to go off the clock. Your favorite destination for the hottest sports topics, fantasy insight, betting lines, and game predictions. Sit back, kick off your shoes. You can even crack a cold one. And enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler, Jake, and Rob.
Yo, what is up, fellas? We are live.
Let's do it. What's going on, guys?
Week two. How you guys doing? What's up, Rob? What's up, Jake? Off
Doing
the clock,
good.
family.
My Texans last week let me down, of course. Thought good old Lovie Smith was going to let his cojones hang and go for it, but nothing to be expected.
I think both teams were let down by
we are all let down by our respective teams that we root for. But
that's for sure.
But you guys got a little bit more to look forward to, I think. But anyways, week two. I just want to apologize. We're late because of me. I've been out of town all weekend, at a wedding down at the beach. I just made it back in. My damn ceiling fan in my bedroom's falling out of the ceiling now. It's been a crazy morning. But I wanted to apologize to the listeners and just kind of start us off. Let's do some start sits, guys. How about that? Y'all cool with that?
Sure.
So where we want to start, or where'd y'all want to start today?
I was gonna pick up the segment on injuries because there's been some late ads to people not playing, and so I just want to get out there to people. Just in case these guys are in your lineup. I know it's probably 45 minutes before.
I just saw Kamara's hurt now. He's ruled
Kamara's
out.
out. Yep, Kamara's been ruled out.
Jameis Winston has 4 fractures in his back, apparently.
Well, I mean, that's not shocking to me. Swift is still questionable as of the latest report. J.K. Dobbs is probably not going to play today either.
I haven't even looked at any of my lineups yet.
So if you're thinking J.K. is going to play today, I would probably see if was it Ken Drake? The second option?
Kenyon Drake's already been given the projections. So
yeah, I would just immediately switch that.
I don't trust anybody in Baltimore right now besides Mark Andrews, Bateman, and Lamar Jackson. That's about the only players I'd trust on that team in fantasy.
Yeah, Bateman's definitely starting to gain my trust. I mean, obviously last year he was a rookie. So obviously there was a lot of hype, but he's finally starting to come around, taking that year 2 leap.
Yep.
All the wide receivers actually this year have been kind of sketched out for me for injuries. I mean, I don't think T. Higgs or even Mike Evans even plays. I know they're still questionable. If Mike Evans
plays,
I don't think T. Higgs play. He took a personal day off during practice. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. He was still dealing with concussion. I just don't think he'll be back. And concussion is always so weird. Like, you just don't know. I've seen guys come back from concussions within a week, but then they start getting symptoms mid-game. So even if T. Higgs was playing, I wouldn't start him in a lineup. Like, I would be, Boyd and Jamar Chase if you have it.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and Sorry, I'm looking at my lineups right now. I haven't had time all morning. But due to some injuries, here's my starting 2 backs in one of my leagues: Zach Moss and J.D. McKissick.
I mean,
my prayers go out to you, brother.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It's a 14-man league. So yeah, options are thin.
Yeah, that's rough. And then obviously the big I would say the big one of the day would be Michael Pittman out, for this week, possibly projecting to be out for a few more weeks with that.
What happened? Quad or something?
His quad, something happened, I think, during practice. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday when they started making him limited and questionable. Official out tag for today for Pittman, and possibly could be out for a few weeks. I know I have Michael Pittman and Keenan Allen in one of my leagues, and both of them were out. I'm getting a little anxious of possibly doing a week 3 trade for another wide receiver just in case Pittman's out for a while, and you never know with Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
So
Man, yeah,
Who,
I'm looking at all this breaking news injury wise. Some people out,
yeah, a
man.
lot, a lot. Julio Jones is out today too, by the way.
Yeah,
So
I
if
see
anyone
that.
has Julio in,
I got
get
him
him
in
out.
2 leagues. I wasn't starting him. I'm not fully sold yet.
Some
But
people started him after the obviously Sunday Night Football, but I he's out. You know, knee injury. Obviously that TB12 regiment wasn't doing him all good. So he's out today. Alan Lazard is actually going to play Sunday night. So if anybody,
he's good to go.
he's good to go. He's going to play. Make a season debut. So if he's on your bench and Julio or any Pittman or anybody like that, and you're worried about Lazard, Lazard's going to play in that much needed Packer offense where they need a wide receiver to step up. So that's a good play for me.
You know, I'm looking right here. Sorry, I'm just catching up. I'm sure people who are listening right now have already known all or about all these injuries, but man, I'm in a dilemma right now. One of my leagues, Rob.
Mm,
Um, I went ahead. Let me give you this, I guess, dilemma that I'm in. So I went ahead. I played Juju Smith-Schuster Thursday night.
oh, yeah,
He did do well, but I also played Mike Williams. So I moved them both into
that's good. That's good.
my two starting receiver spots.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs is currently in my flex. I am not going to move him, but
Obviously.
here's who I have. I have Dalvin Cook. I have Cordero Patterson. I have Kareem Hunt. And I have Mark Ingram too now with Kamara out. I got to play two backs. I mean, I got Cook and Patterson in there right now. I think that's probably the safest
Yeah.
bet, but
Who do the Browns play?
play the Jets.
Oh, I mean, no offense to New York fans out there. I just don't believe in the Jets. I would always say if
They
you
didn't
have
let
an
the they
opportunity.
didn't let the Ravens run on them too much last week, man.
I mean, but they also let Lamar Jackson sling it, and you know, if you're letting Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar Jackson's great, don't get me wrong, if you're letting Lamar Jackson sling the ball against you, then there's an issue with your offense.
I mean, normally
I
when he's
mean,
slinging it well, it's because they've been running the ball so good.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he threw 30 passes at 213 last week, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Only ran the ball 6 times. So
Yeah, it was a low
I
number.
mean, it's a low number for runs for Lamar, especially that. But I mean, who's the other option for you?
Uh, Mark Ingram and Kareem Hunt, Patterson, and Dalvin Cook.
Well, obviously, you know,
You got to start
Dalvin's
Dalvin
playing.
Cook just because the
Yeah,
volume. I mean, I'm going with Cook and Patterson. That's what I've been rolling with.
yeah.
Knowing
I
that
think,
knowing what I know now, I wish I would have taken Juju out Thursday night and put Hunt in.
yeah.
I was back and forth all week about that, but
Only problem I have with like playing Patterson is like he's playing against the Rams that were just blown out on the first night, first game of the season at home,
you think they're
getting
going to
their
come
Super
out
Bowl
and
rings. I think they're going to come out with a vengeance, especially against a really weak Atlanta offense. In my mind, still, I mean, I get it.
no, I
They
agree.
they put up to what 26 points last week, and Cordell went off. Obviously, I have more faith in that defense to step it up this week, and after getting blown out in Thursday night football, technically, it's I think they're going to step it
I'm
up.
cool. I'm cool if Atlanta gets blown out because that means that Patterson's probably going to be catching a lot of balls out of the backfield in a comeback
Yeah,
attempt. So we'll
yeah,
see. We'll
definitely.
see. But all right,
Yeah,
Jacob. I think he's been having some technical difficulties.
yeah. So
Give him
we'll
just a
just
second,
continue.
everybody. Yeah.
We'll give him a second. I mean, the one thing I'm running in, I'm going through my lineups now. Obviously, I always try to do an hour before the game.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking at one of my leagues on ESPN, and I don't have a really good tight end solution. I have Logan Thomas and Cole Komet. Cole Komet gave me a big old goose egg last week.
You want
I,
my
I
opinion?
give my
You
pick. Give me your
you
opinion.
you roll a commit, man. He's gonna his I guess share of snaps is so high on that team. He's gonna
Yeah,
get the ball thrown to him. He had I think like top 3 in targets last year. He just never scored a touchdown.
yeah,
And that Dude, that game last week, I wouldn't look anything into that game when it comes to evaluating fantasy football players for the 49ers or the Bears. I wouldn't look anything into it because that thing was just
Yeah,
a slop bowl.
I think going into our segment about sit and start, like you just said, don't look at last week's like mud bath. Literally, it was a mud bath. If you ever watched that game last week, it like the camera was having trouble like
Oh, yeah,
seeing the game.
you
That's
could
how
barely
bad it
see.
was.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we
Welcome
go,
back,
live
Jake.
from his garage.
Yeah.
I like the kayaks in the back room.
We had some technical difficulties. Have some contractors at the house, but you know what I mean. We work with what we got. So yeah, the boy is back live from the garage.
It's the dap.
And just want to show all the viewers we are in the official Texans man cave. And then shout out to my alma mater, Texas State, getting blown out last night by Baylor. But yeah, we're all good. I'm back.
Yeah, nice little kayak too back there, huh?
Those pretty dope kayaks. We were just talking about for listeners, talk about still the sit and start segment. Not take the Bears-Niners game last week as like a worrisome for those players. It was just a really bad game, like weather-wise. And I was going to bring up Brandon Ayuk is in my mind going to be a really good fantasy player this year, especially with Trey Lance being at that starting position. You know, Brandon Ayuk is very fast. He's a small guy. He could be in a lot of option routes. Down the field, deep threat, because everyone's going to be paying attention to Debo. And then when George Kittle comes back, by the way, George Kittle is out again today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That guy just can't catch a break.
Yeah, he can.
George Brittle is what I've been calling him because he's brittle. I love how he plays though. I love how he plays. It just sucks.
Yeah, he does play in an aggressive position. Obviously, you're having to bang with the big dogs on the line, but then go catch passes. I think my biggest question mark, obviously, Tigre, we talked about this off the air, is the trade I made. I traded Alvin Kamara for David Montgomery and Terry McLaurin because my only other healthy receiver is A.J. Brown. I do have Godwin and D-Hop, but we all know what's going on with both of them. So kind of touching on what y'all just said about that game and don't take too much from it. Obviously, Khalil Herbert worries me a little bit because he did get, I think, a touchdown, maybe even two, and a lot of carries. But I just don't know. With those kind of weather conditions and stuff like that, I'm still a believer in Monty. So.
They were literally scooping water off the grass, and if you just go look at those videos, like the camera,
they were squeegeeing it and stuff.
Yeah, the camera had trouble like looking at the game. That's how bad it was. I mean, talk about that trade you just did. I mean, I really think you got the better part of that deal. I do think
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I think Alvin Kamara, he's such a great player. We talked about this last week. He's injured, and you took a Hall of Fame quarterback of Drew Brees off that team. Yeah. Everyone's value is down outside of Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is still the stud. I mean, obviously, he proved it yesterday. He made a back shoulder catch that was just like, okay. Man, Michael Thomas is back.
Look, fellas,
I hope so. We hope so.
Benny Gonzalez, great trade. That's what he said in the chat. Is that who you made the trade with? Was Benny?
Yeah.
You know what?
No, I mean, I needed to do it because if A.J. Brown went down, my only other receiver that was healthy would have been Robert Woods, and I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't trust Robert Woods or Ryan Tannehill. I'm sorry, you just can't do it.
Here's my thing. I'm never gonna, unless it's just like a completely lopsided trade. I'm never gonna, shun people for making trades. They're, everybody's trying to win money. You get to make your own decision. I just personally think that giving up on Kamara after 1 week, he's out right now too. So right now you're probably feeling good about this. But giving up on your first round pick after 1 week just to get Montgomery and McLaurin, I think it was just me personally. I think that you gave up too much draft capital, too much value. But where you're sitting at right now, you do have Barkley, you do have Zeke. So when you look at it from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense. But just in terms of on paper, you gave up more value.
I didn't even like your trade. You would have wanted Godwin from me for all of our viewers out there. Tigre kind of shunned me for the trade I did, and he said that he would have offered me Cordell Patterson and Mike Williams, but for Alvin Kamara, but I would have had to throw in Chris Godwin, and I wouldn't have been willing to do that. So I
I think for both teams, I mean, that trade was well balanced because both teams needed something. And I think for you, Jake, you really needed a wide receiver two at least, and Scary Terry is always, in my mind, a wide receiver two. Ooh.
Whoa, breaking news for all of our viewers out there. We have Mr. Rob, the sly guy in the background, accepted the trade. Let's see what, for all of our viewers out there, let's run them through this trade and let's get
Wait, what happened?
So I just did the trade. I'll announce it. So we just got done talking about my tight end situation, but I don't trust Logan Thomas. I think Cole Kmet needs to have maybe a game or two for him to be back with Justin Fields. So I did a trade with somebody from our team. I mean, in our league, I did
Benny, the same guy that I traded with.
Oh, Benny, the exact same guy. So I got DJ. I gave him DJ Moore, Logan Thomas, Michael Carter for Jeff Wilson Jr., Daryl Henderson Jr., and Zach Ertz.
So my first initial, I'm looking at it right now. You gave him DJ Moore, Logan Thomas, Michael Carter. You get Ertz, Henderson, Wilson. My first thought is it's very risky for you. Why I say that? Daryl Henderson. That's the question mark. Our week one take was is Cam Akers a robber? Essentially, because who's going to dominate that backfield? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know Jeff Wilson's a rental. It could pay off. It could not.
Ideally, is so. Just for viewers out there, in this league, I have both Aaron Jones and Miles Sanders as my 1 and 2 running backs. So Daryl Henderson would be a flex, and with the additional help of Jeff Jr. I also have Bryce Hall with the New York Jets, who I still think is going to be the number one guy at the end of the season compared to Michael Carter. So that's why I was willing to give up Michael Carter in that aspect. And yeah, I just need to update and tight end. Logan Thomas is not the exact same Logan Thomas 2 years ago. Like, he's been hurt consistently, and Cole Kmet, like I just said, I need to see him to get his reps up. Obviously I don't want to freak out from last week, but you
freaked out a little bit right now, Rob. We were just talking about
it. I mean,
30 minutes before kickoff, he pulled the trigger.
But I mean, the weakness of even with Cole Kmet, say if Cole Kmet was getting catches, it's my trustability in Justin Fields. Like, I just don't know he's the guy that's going to give that ball. Like, if I rank the top quarterbacks in the NFC North, he's third. And there's an argument that Jared Goff could be third in my mind. So, I mean, he's not better than Aaron Rodgers. And right now, the way Kirk Cousins playing on a contract year, he's not better than Kirk Cousins either. So third, I know, Jake, you have an issue with Jared Goff. So, I mean, there's an argument for both. There's an argument for both things. So,
enough of that.
Oh, well, all right.
Enough of that. I can't stand to talk about that, man. I'm sorry, Rob. With all due respect, Jared Goff just makes me itch my face.
Well,
no, I get it. I mean,
I'm sorry.
I think he could potentially be in the bottom 5 quarterbacks of the NFL. But
Benny said he agreed. That's why he preferred Logan Thomas in the trade.
Yeah.
Now, all right, we got 30 minutes till kickoff. I know we wanted to kind of wrap it up a little bit before the game started. Let's go into what you guys have as your must start of the week and your must sit of the week in fantasy football.
Must sit Tom Brady.
Why?
I don't like it. I think going into that divisional matchup, I don't know if I want to say this because I don't know if I put my money where my mouth is, but I could see the Saints winning tonight or today. That's the first one off the top of
last year.
Yeah, that's Tom Brady's the first one off the top of my head. I could probably look into it a little bit more, but I'm just not high on him. I think if you have another very viable option, you definitely go that route. But I don't know, Tyler, what do you think? Who's your must sit? You don't want any part of him this week.
A must sit this week? Ooh. I was thinking about this in the car whenever I was driving back home earlier, and you know what my must sit, or who my must sit is? Damien Pierce for the Texans. I think he got drafted. I think he got overdrafted big time to begin with. And week 1, Rex Butthead, as I call him, got all the touches. Now, until that changes, Damien Pierce is going to be a must sit for me almost every week. But I think people are still so high on him. I believe Lovey came out and said something along the lines of we need to get him the ball. Well, until that's proven to me, he's sitting on my bench, which isn't the case because I never drafted that guy. I thought he was his ADP was way too high for my taking. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. That's my must sit. My must start, though.
Well, I want to hear Rob's really quick before you give me that, T.
So,
what do you think, Rob?
Must sit for me, and it's a chemistry issue, and I'll go into it. DJ Moore. Baker only went with them.
It's easy to say that now.
No, I was going to sit his ass anyways. I was going to move him to the flex and then try to see if I was going to play Michael Carter over him, because there's obviously a big chemistry issue with DJ Moore and Baker Mayfield. There is. He goes to Robbie Anderson a lot more. And he
after only 1 week, though, we got to remember.
After 1 week, I get it. But Robbie Anderson was on the Browns when Baker was on the Browns. So the chemistry's there with them. CMC is going to get his targets no matter what. I mean, CMC.
Robbie Anderson was not on the Browns.
No.
He was with the Jets before that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My brain's not working today.
But he does favor Anderson so far.
He does favor Anderson over what's it called? DJ Moore at the current moment. Now, do I believe that DJ Moore at the end of the year is going to have a lot more targets than Robbie Anderson? Of course. But right now, currently, week 2, I think we're going to see Robbie Anderson get 8 to 10 targets compared to DJ Moore probably with the 5.
I'm going to give a hot take on that game. CMC leads the Panthers in catches today. Hot take. It's not necessarily could be a hot take, but we don't know how good Baker Mayfield and CMC are vibing yet. But I think after last week, they kind of came out and said, look, the usage obviously needs to be there. He's fucking Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. But I don't know, a little hot take, a little fun take. CMC leads the Panthers in catches.
And again, it's just week 1. I mean, we can use the argument for every single thing for a set. I mean, it's just week 1. It shouldn't be overboard. But that's just my take. I actually, if you have a viable option at wide receiver and DJ Moore is like a flex, maybe start running back today compared to and see how the chemistry works with DJ Moore than having him put up like a 5 or 6.
Look, man, at this early point of the season, we're just heading into week 2. Yeah. DJ Moore, you had to get him in round 4, round 5, if you want to DJ Moore.
Remember when I picked him.
Yeah, round 4.
You put that much draft capital into a guy, he cannot go on your bench right now. I just don't. Okay. I don't believe in that. And that's to me, that's basically saying like, oh, I drafted horribly. I didn't trust myself to begin with. If you're not trusting those guys, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Alvin Kamara trade. Now, everybody has their own reasons and own opinions. Don't get me wrong. That's just mine. I don't want to go against myself yet this early on. Yeah, because I trust myself. I trust the way I drafted. And
most people go with their top 10 selections as their starting lineup for the first 3-4 weeks. But you have to also think as well, like each game, depending on how seasons are working for fantasy, each game does matter, because if you're running with a 12-14 man league, you only have so many spots in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So a game or 2 that you could have won week 1 or 2 or 3 can make that difference at the end of the year where there's injuries or there's ties and there's a bunch of other things that might happen that might not allow you to be in that winner's bracket, be in the loser's bracket.
And I look at it like this, fellas. I think it's kind of like almost, would you rather have 1 A on your team or 2 Bs?
Exactly.
Everyone looks at it differently. Somebody wants that
DJ Moore
player.
I'm not saying DJ Moore is not an A. DJ Moore.
I'm talking more so about the little kind of the Alvin Kamara. I think Terry McLaurin's a B. I think David Montgomery's a B.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into B-, B+ stuff like that. I'm just going to say B. Alvin Kamara is obviously an A. I personally, I don't know. It's tough though, but
with I'm just saying, and then we'll circle back to the starters. Must starts. Is that DJ Moore is an A wide receiver. He's the number 1 wide receiver of that team, no matter how many targets Robbie Anderson gets, and if CMC gets hurt or not, it doesn't matter. They could bring fucking Chad Ochocinco back from retirement. Freaking DJ Moore is still going to be the number 1 wide receiver of that team. I'm just saying currently, where week 1 and 2, if you watch the Panthers game yesterday, last week, there was a chemistry issue between DJ Moore and Baker Mayfield. Now, it could be corrected today, We might see them go out 10 catches, 12 targets, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I got the Giants winning today.
But I just don't see it because I still think that chemistry is still not there yet. Now, week 4, you'll see a little bit more, probably 12 targets with him because he's going to get his targets.
I mean, let me ask you this, Rob. Would you be saying the same thing if the Chargers hadn't played yet on Thursday about Mike Williams? Because he had one catch week 1, I believe.
But that's different though, because Mike Williams and Justin Herbert have that chemistry already. Like Mike Williams was already on the team last year, and I think every single year that Herbert's been there. Baker just showed up there. Baker didn't know he got the starting job until the last week of preseason, even though we all knew he was going to get
I don't want any part to – I want to chime in on this, fellas. I want no part of Baker at all. I didn't want him in Cleveland. I don't want him in Carolina. He doesn't gel well with receivers. He's not that guy. Kind of like that viral TikTok. You're not that guy, pal. Like, I don't know. He's a better football player than I am. That's for damn sure. But I mean, with Odell, with Jarvis, like, he just. I don't know. I don't trust him.
You saw even when Odell was there. I mean, you saw there was when Giants traded to Cleveland, Odell, when Baker was on that team. There was obviously a lack of chemistry, and that's why they said, okay, that year was a mulligan because it was only like I think 6 games or whatever they played together, and the next year was going to be the year. And it takes Baker some time to get chemistry with his receivers. That's just what it is. So let's get
into the must start, fellas. I want to ask y'all: are the must starts? Is this somebody that is like? Can we say a Brown 1 through 3 pick? Because obviously that's a must start. You're not going to bitch like Tyler.
I'm not going to say Devontae Adams.
Let's go like flex options. People are out there with a lot of injuries nowadays. Who's your flex must start? And I'll go first because I have a play. I say a must start is Naheem Hines on your flex.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Because no Michael Pittman, no number 2 wide receiver. I forgot the guy's name. Even last week Alec Pierce. He's not playing this week. Even last week, I'll pull up because I actually have Naheem Hines on my team. I got him in
our league.
Yeah.
The Dirty Dozen.
Last week he did 11 points on ESPN. He did 6 catches, 6 targets, 50 yards, no touchdowns. He didn't run the ball. So you're not going with Naheem Hines like he's going to run the ball. But Matt Ryan loves dumping off to his running backs. So those 6 targets are probably going to go to 8 with Naheem Hines there because no Pittman. He's going to check down the ball a lot in that game. So I say if you're looking for a flex and you don't have anybody, Naheem Hines is there. Go get him.
I'm gonna go off the rip. My Texans are about to get fucked today, chat. They're absolutely going to get destroyed. I was torn on the +7 last week against the Colts. No, I mean in Mile High, it's. I
mean, Russ is pissed from Seattle, so he's pissed.
It's Bronco country. Let's ride at home for the first game. I have the Broncos by at least 14, I would say. And my must start, I'm gonna go off the wall. It's a flyer. I'm gonna say Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I think he's that guy in Denver. I think there was a lot of emotions last week. Russ was obviously, I don't know if he was flustered. I don't want to say that. He's been in the league for so long, so I don't know if he gets flustered. But I like Jerry Jeudy, I do, but I think Cortland Sutton's going to slowly pull away in the future as that number 1 guy.
Target-wise.
My must start, he's obviously probably going to get started in everyone's league, but maybe he's not your best 1 or 2 wide receiver. So maybe he is a guy that you're torn on, especially after last week. He would be my must start. I think he's going to have. I would say, I'm going to say 7 for 110 and a tutty.
There you go. That's good.
7 for 110.
I have him in our league, so that's why I was also okay trading DJ Moore because I think Sutton's going to be that guy.
I think he'll have a 20-point performance today.
Yeah.
What about you, T. Gray?
Man, I've been thinking about this. My must start of the week is A.J. Dillon. I think against the Bears, A.J. Dillon, Green Bay needs to get in some sort of rhythm on offense today, and I think it's going to start with that run game. And I think A.J. Dillon's the best back on the team personally. Aaron Jones, obviously has a little bit more speed to his game. He's going to go out there and start, but I think A.J. Dillon overall in pass protection, I think he just gets the job done at a more efficient pace than Aaron Jones does. And I've been fading Aaron Jones. I know you haven't, Rob. I know you included him in your top 10 running backs last week in fantasy football. He just doesn't get the volume. And I think A.J. Dillon, with the amount of touches that he does, he always tends to produce. Now, if they somehow just Aaron Jones comes out on the first drive and he has the hot hand and it's like an 80-20 split, then I wouldn't want to start A.J. Dillon, but I think it's going to be that 55-45 split in Green Bay. They're going to try to get in a rhythm on offense, and it's going to start with those two guys.
Yeah, I agree.
As we wrap this up, fellas, what do y'all think? Let's maybe a little two-teamer for our viewers. Maybe a little two-team spread.
I haven't even looked yet.
You haven't looked? How about you take a look really quick?
As he's taking a look, Jake, who's your upset pick of the week? No betting lines, no nothing. Who do you think is just going to pull one out of the hat?
That's tough. As we got these contractors about to cut some boards, let's see if I can get this takeout really quick. I got two teams. It's not really wouldn't be a big upset because they're only +1, but I do like the Giants to win today.
Yep.
I like the Giants, and then I also like potentially the Cardinals. They're +5.5, so they're obviously underdogs. I would say the Cardinals. I think obviously week 1 they got into a tough matchup with the Chiefs. They are on the road, but I'm not sold on Derek Carr. I'm not sold on Josh Jacobs. I am sold on Tay, obviously Tay Adams and Darren Waller. But my flyer would be the Cardinals. I think they can do it.
I'm gonna agree with the Giants. I think the Giants are gonna keep the train moving. 2-0 record. I really do think at the end of September you'd be looking at Giants with an undefeated record or at least a 1-loss record coming into October. I'm gonna go with
You're that high on the Giants after week 1.
Well, I mean, Tyler, I can see you're using this argument of week 1 a lot. I mean, obviously it's just week 1, but I think the momentum's there, and you want to play off the momentum. I'm going with Jacksonville beating Indianapolis at Jacksonville. I think the loss of that Michael Pittman is going to be huge for them, and I don't know Matt Ryan's going to be able to, recuperate from that. And I'm going to go with Miami beating Baltimore. I think that
I disagree.
I think that Miami is a good wild card team. They're going to get hot early. They're going to stay hot, but after their bye, they're going to just into the wild card. I think the Bills obviously win that division, but Miami's going to make the wild card coming out there.
What about you, T? I want to hear your kind of upset flyer.
My dog of the day, the New York Football Jets. New York Football Jets.
Oh boy.
Against the Browns.
Oh boy.
Look, hear me out, okay? I could have went a more safe route, but Cleveland, I mean, they squeaked one out last week against a bad Carolina team. And I think the Jets actually held up decently well against the Ravens. They didn't let them run the ball on them. And if they can duplicate
How much faith do you have in Joe Flacco?
I mean,
not much.
I have enough faith in them to win this game, but I don't think that they're going to be a playoff team anymore or anything. I mean, you asked me to pick a dog of the day.
Would you take the over and under?
And I'm respectfully disagreeing, but you're my brother, Tyler, so I'll let you be on this one.
I mean,
would you take the over under?
You guys pick, the Dolphins as your dog of the day, or who else?
I didn't.
Rob picked the Dolphins. You picked.
I got the Cardinals as my dog. Plus 5.5. Go ahead.
I mean, they're playing the Raiders though this week. I mean,
what scares me about the Raiders? Devontae does, but
I mean, what scares you about the Cardinals though?
Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz.
I don't know.
The defense is okay. Not last week, but
look, I'll give you guys this. Y'all's dogs of the day are way more likely to hit than mine, but that's just my dog of the day. I'll reach down deep.
I mean, your Jets are plus 6.5. My Cardinals are plus 5.5. So the lines are pretty close. So,
yeah, I think the 5.5 is for real. I might go sprinkle a bunch on the fucking Arizona today because I think that's.
How about maybe you can buy it? Maybe tease them like a 5 or 6 point teaser, get them up to like plus 10.5. Cardinals +10 and a little 2-team teaser or something.
Oh,
Sprinkle that with it.
geez.
Just for a little fun. Everyone likes a little tease, chat. Everyone likes to be teased in life.
I know I got some stuff to do. I know we're getting real close to kickoff. What do you guys want to end today on Sunday night picks?
Sunday night picks.
Yeah, because I think we have chat. I think the only person to come out victorious last Sunday night was
Jake's 1-0. I'm 0-1. Rob's 0-1.
Can't believe
I wish it was the opposite. I wish it was the opposite, but
well, in our defense, Dak did get hurt. So I mean, that's not.
It happened late.
That's not I mean, it was still a good game though. It wasn't like it was a blowout. I know during our podcast session this week, you said it was a blowout. I disagree with you. I think they were in it until late, and if one touchdown could have caused some momentum to swing in your way.
So are we doing? I can't remember from last week. It's already been a week. Time flies, but man, a week seems like forever ago. Are we doing spreads or are we just picking straight up? Because
we just pick straight up.
We're picking straight up.
I'll go out on a limb. I think the dominance ends this year. I'm taking the Bears. Bear down.
If I could kick you from this, I would totally kick you. I'm picking Green Bay. That's like
Bear down, baby.
That's like
Bear down.
I'm picking Green Bay. The line's -10. The Vegas is agreeing with obviously it's the Packers. I think with Allen Lazard's back, you're going to have somebody that Aaron does trust, in that wide receiving core. Ron Totten's going to get feed the ball more. I think they're going to be able to move against that Bears defense very easily.
And Watson and Romeo Doubs are just going to be.
I got the Packers too, fellas, but I don't think they cover that spread.
No, I definitely don't think they cover. I feel safer taking Bears.
And that defense is going to show up. Home game at Lambeau Field. They're not going to sneak up to Lambeau Field. They're just not going to do it. So
just remember, chat. We have a Packers fan on the stream, so just remember that, chat.
All righty, fellas. I'm calling it. If you guys want to stay on, but I think that's a good time to end this show. Again, I apologize for being late today. I had a crazy weekend. I'm honestly pretty fucking hungover right now too. So
yeah, this stream was not the best, fellas, but
it's okay.
We obviously learn and
we'll adapt to it. But anyways, we'll catch you guys during our recording session during the week, and we'll see you guys next month Sunday.
Yeah. See you, Rob. See you, Jake.
Discord. Go to the Discord.
Yeah, go join the Discord community. Go join. Tell us what you want to hear. You guys can hop in there, talk with us. Hell, maybe we'll even ask you guys to come on board one time as a guest. So, but anyways, until next time, I'll see y'all later.
Go Texans.
Thanks for tuning in to the Off the Clock Show. If you enjoyed what you heard, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really want to show your support, please consider subscribing. You can also follow us at our social media sites listed in the description. We will talk to you next time. Off the Clock.